Hello, welcome back Pokemon Trainer Canyons. This is another video of tips and strategies for playing Trainer Canyons. In this video, we will choose the top 6 Pokemon you can use without buying crystals or money, or without using money. This, however, is just my opinion, and you may have another set of 6 Pokemon in your party, but this one, for me, is the best, especially when you are joining the Pokemon League. Now, I will not include any legendary Pokemon that you can get from the boxes, since it literally means you have to spend for those boxes, and I will only include those legendary Pokemon that you can gain in game. Now let's starting off with the list. I will choose as my first spot would be Fortress. Now, what's the purpose for choosing Fortress? Fortress is a very best setup Pokemon. It's bug and steel, which means it's only weak to fire, and you can be creative with its move. My Fortress has rapid spin. The purpose of having rapid spin is to clear up entry hazards such as Stealth Rock and Spikes. Now, what's the purpose of using Fortress? This is a Pokemon with a sturdy ability. Okay, means it cannot be taken down in one hit. Plus, I had it held a gold berry. Okay, this is the gold berry. So once it was hit by an attack, it recovers health, and it can be hit again by another attack. Now, I should mention that my Fortress level is only 49. I made it sure that its HP is about 300 or 301, so that for that strategy to work. Now, the thing is, you have to use Stealth Rock for setup, Spikes, as long as you can before you get killed. Now, to the second list, or to the second Pokemon for my list, it would be this mighty, immortal Pokemon Shedinja. Shedinja has the special ability called Wonder God, which only super effective moves will hit. Now, Shedinja being a ghost type and a bug type means it's weak only to flying, fire, ghost, and dark, plus rock type. Now, if your opponent player doesn't have any of those types, it means it will be a sure win for you. Now, you can have its move set up like Shadow Ball, Confuse Ray, Toxic, and Spite. Now, Confuse Ray will be will do a decent amount of damage to your opponents if they hurt themselves. Toxic would be a continuous damage and gets worsened every turn. Now, the third, and the fourth move, it's up to you. For me, it would be nice for Shadow Ball. So if they are using another Shedinja, you could just use Shadow Ball to kill it. Spite, so your opponent's PB will be diminished by a lot. In this case, it's 4 PB. Okay. Now, I use this Shedinja as my defense even if I'm already level 78. This is a very useful Pokemon. Next in my list, let's put Shedinja in the bag. Yes. The third Pokemon that I will include in my list would be... Oh, hang on a second. It will be this one. The funny troll Pokemon called Hitmontop. Now, why Hitmontop? Hitmontop, a fighting Pokemon. You can make it use or hold a Gold Berry or Miracle Berry. It's up to you, depending on your strategies. But if you're going to use Hitmontop, the best is that you have to activate its sturdy ability. so it will not be knocked out with one hit. Okay, now if your opponents hit you, use Endeavor, which means their HP will be down to 1. Then use Quick Attack and then you literally kill it. Okay, now Shedinja, Fortress and Hitmontop should be used together. Why? Because Fortress will set up the Stealth Rock, okay, and clear up the entry hazards for Hitmontop. It's very important that you clear out all the entry hazards before you use this strategy. Because if Hitmontop comes up with a Stealth Rock, it will be damaged by the Stealth Rock and it can be hit by any opponent's move and kill it immediately. Sturdy will not be activated that way. Now, the last 3 spot. Okay, for the last 3 spot, I will include the legendary Pokemon that we can all have after 7 days. And that is none other than Snorlax. Snorlax, although in the real Pokemon game it's not a legendary, in this game it is. Now you could get creative with Snorlax moveset. For me, I use Body Slam, Psychic, Rest, Headbutt. You could change Headbutt to Slip Talk, or you could use or change Psychic to Hyper Beam, then use Slip Talk so that you can push, or you can use Hyper Beam, because in this game Hyper Beam has a very low or 0 PP. It's bugged. But if you use Slip Talk, then if Snorlax use Hyper Beam, it can use Hyper Beam using Slip Talk. The next Pokemon you would want to use is your starter Pokemon, Venusaur. Venusaur has a very high defense. Defensive capabilities, look here. Okay, special defense is 105. It can be very tanky, plus you can use a lot of strategies with Venusaur, especially if you have sleep powder. It will be a dilemma for your opponent if all of their Pokemon is asleep. Bullet Seed, Lich Seed to continually diminish their HP, then Synthesis for sustain. The last one for me is a dragon Pokemon, Kingdra. Okay, Kingdra. Let's put it in the bag. Kingdra. Why Kingdra? Because Kingdra has a very limited weakness. It's water and dragon type, which means electric types will not do any damage, will not do big amount of damage. Grass type will not also do big amount of damage. It's only weak to dragon. Okay, now, this Kingdra is not yet built. I haven't taught it any moves, but it can learn Toxic, Dragon Breath, Dive, and so on. You can check it there on its moveset. Now, in replace of Kingdra, you can use. When I started this game, I used Electivire, because Electivire has a wide range of moveset. Fire Punch, Thunder Punch. So if you would like to cover a lot of types that your opponent have, Fire Punch could kill Ice, Grass, what else? Steel type. Now Thunder Punch can kill Water, Flying. That's why I use Electivire first before I use any of my legendaries. Now this team can do very well on a Pokemon League match, especially if you don't fight an opponent with team of legendary Pokemon. Even with those team, as long as your Venusaur has a very high star, or and your Snorlax also have a very high break and star, there is a possibility of winning the game. I should include Shuckle. As you have seen in my other video, this could be a very big troll Pokemon with its move. Okay, rest, double team, toxic, wrap. So you stall the opponent with double team and hope their hit will not land. Plus, Shuckle defensive capability is very high, 3073 and 2670. 5, look at its SS, 242 for special defense and 242 for defense. Now this team, if you would like to include Shuckle in replace of maybe Hitmontop or your Shedinja, you can do so. Now that's it for my top 6 Pokemon, non-legendary except for Snorlax. Stay tuned for another tips about Trainer Canyon.